Story 1. I keep a gift list in my phone year-round. Anytime someone mentions something they like or need, I jot it down. It helps when you're stuck for ideas later in the year for birthdays or Christmas. Story 2. Clean a pan, pot, or cutting board while other items are cooking. By the end of cooking, the only thing left to clean is the dish that holds the final product. This way, there isn't a lot to clean after eating. Also, cook a large amount to have dinner for most of the week. Additionally, save eggshells, grind them, and mix them with soap to help remove tough grime from pots. Story 3. We have a load of spare toothbrushes, still in wrapping obviously, for when people come stay and they forget theirs. It's only been of use 3, maybe 4 times, but at a couple of pounds for a brush, it's totally worth it. Story 4. If you are constantly grabbing a tool from point A to use it at point B, just get a second one for point B. For example, it is great to have a drawer where you keep scissors, but if you are always looking for scissors while at your desk, just get a second pair to keep in your desk. If you have to go find a wrench from the garage to tighten a stubborn kitchen faucet, get one of the correct size to keep in the kitchen. Instead of moving a phone charger between the bedroom and living room, just get a second one for your living room. Obviously, financial and space limitations can apply, but pay attention to what you waste frustration looking for, where you actually use it, and if possible, just get a second one to keep in that location. Story 5. Very simple, but the number of people who don't know that Control or Command plus Shift and T brings back the tab you closed by accident on Chrome or any other browser is surprising. It will even bring back entire windows if you accidentally close everything. Story 6. I keep an emergency $20 in my phone, in between the phone and its case. It's come in handy so many times when I've forgotten my wallet or been to a cash-only place. Story 7. After Christmas, not only do I buy wrapping paper when it's cheap, but I buy it according to the background color. Red, white, green, blue. You can use whatever color plan works for you. When I get gifts, I box them, wrap them, and when I wrap them in a color indicating where they're going. All presents in red paper are for the 3 of us and are staying home. All presents in green paper are going to my mom's house. All presents in white are going to work and other friends. All presents in blue are going to my husband's parents. This makes sorting things out in a hurry when you're ready to go a lot easier. I also keep a box cutter, good paper scissors, box tape, and regular tape, as well as a pen that will write on the tags, packed with the wrapping paper. That way I don't have to go look for anything. It's all right there, and it stays right there when I'm done. Story 8. I know everyone wants to go into serious life hack mode here, but eat muffins upside down because it won't fall apart, and you get that sweet muffin top last. Story 9. You can put a few bandages in the notes section of your purse or wallet. They take up no room and are easy to find when you need them, no matter if it is in a week or in 4 years' time. Edit. A note, short for banknote, is the British English term for paper money, equivalent to an American English bill. $5 note equals $5 bill. Story 10. When you find an article of clothing that you like better than all other items in that category, buy a second item. For me, it was some blue Nathans from Fluvog. I love them so much I bought a second pair for when the first pair wears out in a decade. The same goes for pants, etc. Story 11. I keep a list of joyful moments every year. I track the date and the moment. These can be big and small. A great holiday, or the way a friend looks when they tell you something and they're vulnerable but trust you. I used to think I could just remember everything, but I am 41 now and rereading these lists always cheers me up. Story 12. Sounds really weird, but whenever I wear a dress or a skirt with tights, I put a second pair of, clean of course, underpants on top of the tights. Keeps them in place and there is no annoying pulling them back into place every 5 minutes. Story 13. Once I found a pair of socks that are comfortable and don't get holes. I bought 20 pairs of the same color. No matching on laundry day. If the dryer eats one, I'll never notice. Story 14. You know those salad spinner things that you use to dry your lettuce leaves after you wash them so you don't get a soggy mess, right? You know you can also use them to actually do the washing, right? Just fill the basket inside with the leaves you want to wash. Fill the container with water. and gently swish the leaves inside both clockwise and counterclockwise until they're thoroughly washed. Then take the water out, then do the spinning centrifuge process that they're actually famous for. The amount of sand and dirt that was floating around in the water the first time I did that to some baby spinach was a life-changing sight I'll never forget. Story 15. Don't throw away the vegetable bits you peel or cut off. Put them in a bag and save it in the freezer. Keep adding to the bag and use it for a broth when ready. I learned this a couple of months ago in a cooking subreddit and was surprised at how fast my first one filled up. We made a very flavorful broth from it and already have a second bag ready to go. Story 16. I keep one of those dish cleaning wands you fill with soap in my shower. It's filled with Dawn soap and vinegar. I scrub my shower walls and tub basically every other shower just while I'm in there. Takes less than 2 minutes, and I never have to clean my tub or shower otherwise. About twice a year, I'll do a Comet tub clean scrub, but I can't even tell a difference. It's mostly just for peace of mind. Story 17. When you order Chinese food and get anything that has a fried component, such as General Tso's chicken or orange beef or anything like that, order the sauce on the side. That way, if you have it delivered or pick it up, the fried part will still be crispy because it hasn't sat in the sauce for too long and gotten soggy. Story 18. Making it clear to your employer that your family is important to you and that you prioritize them outside of work. Then work really hard from 9 to 5, with a few exceptions when work requires it, balanced with formally requested time off for family. You become an exceptional asset to the company. Everyone respects you, and the people and customers you serve enjoy your work, making work mostly enjoyable. You'll have job security. Let the person who wants to give their life away in exchange for being the top-rated employee. Story 19. People definitely do this, but I'll share it in case anyone hasn't heard of it. Know those fuses you get in plugs and other things? Well, you can check if one of those is blown or not by holding the metal at one end and attempting to use it as a stylus on your phone. If it works, the fuse is good. If it doesn't, it's blown. Story 20. I love brushing my teeth in the shower. Extra time in a hot shower while completing another task before bed or work. Also, I squeegee off excess water before using a towel to dry myself, which means my towel is much cleaner before a second use. Although I can definitely believe other people don't do these. Story 21. I buy my socks all at once, all identical. When I need socks, I grab any two because they all match. When one gets a hole, I throw one sock away, not a pair. When I start to run low, I throw them all out and start over. The idea that people actually spend time sorting, pairing, and folding socks is insanity to me. Story 22. Book flights using a virtual private network to make yourself appear from a different country. It often means a cheaper flight. And no, before you ask, you don't have to book or be from the country or going to it to book a flight from another country. I saved $1,600 on a flight from the United States to Australia by doing this. Story 23. Put together bags to organize the things you need when you go to different places. I have a gym bag, a work bag, a roller skate bag, and a dance bag. You get the idea. I buy inexpensive bags at thrift stores and just grab the bag for the activity. There's no need to gather things up and hope I remember everything. I just grab the bag and go. Also, bidets. Story 24. Placing a common item in its assigned place. Car keys, cell phone, purse, wallet, whatever. The moment I come home, car keys go there, cell phone beside my chair, purse hung on the coat rack, sunglasses in the car pocket. Never again will you ask, anyone see my car keys? I haven't misplaced anything like that in literal decades. I don't hunt for it. I go to its place. This is a habit left over from my time as an Air Force medic. The supply closet was always strictly organized. If you have a patient in the midst of a crisis, you have to find supplies quickly. Packing for a wound, run to the closet, grab it, back to the patient in seconds. Critical medications in a cabinet, you have the key, need epinephrine, immediately. I continued that lifelong habit in my studio. Untold supplies, brushes here, paint there, tools in their drawer, all organized by task and medium. I've been doing this for over 50 years. It's a wonderful time-saving habit to develop. Story 25. Going for a walk first thing. Literally, bed, pee, clothes, leave the house. No matter the weather. It's life-changing for folks that usually have a groggy morning. For a while, I had to be at work for 6 in the morning, so I'd be up at 4:30 to walk. An early bedtime is certainly difficult for one's social life, but when I'm committed to this routine, I've never felt better, and anyone who does similarly says the same. Story 26. The notes section of my phone's contact list. Meeting my kids' friends' parents? Good thing I can use that section to tell me who Emily's mom and dad are. Distant friends had a new baby? Great. I won't forget their name or birthday for when we get in touch in the future. Story 27. Meal prepping saves a ton of money and time. You can meal prep for a week, for a month, or even for a year for some specific things. What really blows my mind is people who will buy Walmart frozen dinners and then refuse to meal prep because, I don't know, it won't taste the same as fresh. Story 28. Buy a bulk pack of nail trimmers and hide them everywhere you might need to trim a hangnail. Every bathroom, car, work bag, purse, etc. Story 29. If you need to remember to go somewhere or do something, picture yourself doing it. Imagine yourself getting off the bus at the earlier stop, or taking the other turn, whatever it might be. Guaranteed you'll remember to do it instead of sticking to your routine and forgetting. Story 30. Using an airline's app. I am shocked at the number of people I know who check in online but just rely on the screens at the airport to tell them if there are delays, a new gate, and so on. Story 31. My general suggestion is how few people follow simple and proven methods and instead seek shortcuts. Consistency over time, doing simple and proven things, is the key that I can't believe people do not follow. Story 32. Buy 20 pairs of the same sock. Losing one just means you now have one less pair, but also one spare. I do this with the Puma socks you get at Costco, but unfortunately the pattern on each sock in a pack is now different. For example, you get 6 pairs, but they are 2 pairs each of a different color or pattern. They used to be 6 identical patterned socks. Assuming they are identical, when you do your laundry, you don't have to waste time matching pairs because they all match and everyone knows which ones are yours. Story 33. Upstairs downstairs basket. Place it at the bottom or top of the stairs, and put things in it as you realize they need to go up or down. The next person to climb the stairs carries it. Story 34. I fill ice cube trays by holding them at a 45-degree angle and keeping them still with the top end under the tap. Water automatically flows down to fill all the compartments, and they do not overfill. Story 35. Here's a big cooking hack I never see talked about. You are not a restaurant. When prepping ingredients, it's okay to be wasteful. If you can get 90% of the onion easily and spend just as much time and effort getting another 5% of the onion, who cares? Just use 90% of the onion. You are not a restaurant. You are not prepping 100 onions a day. That 5% wastage adds up to like $1 over the course of a year. It's okay. You can cut your prep time and effort by like half by realizing you are not a restaurant, and it's okay to not put in the extra effort for that last 5%. Story 36. Breaking the vacuum seal on jars with a teaspoon and then opening the jar like a normal person instead of banging it on the counter, running it under water, using weird contraptions from the Home Shopping Network, or trying to open it with brute force. Story 37. Buy non-perishable Christmas food ahead of Christmas. I start adding small items to my weekly food shopping from around October. Think of pantry items with a long shelf life like crackers, chips, etc. I have a food spreadsheet that I use to track what food I've bought. Then, when Christmas comes, I just have to buy fresh food. I understand that not everyone has spare money from their food budget each week, and I am in a very privileged position to be able to do this. This advice is more aimed at those people who do their food shopping on Christmas Eve and wonder why there's nothing available. Story 38. When I just started my last job 30 years ago, I opened an online-only account. I then moved a small sum to the account each paycheck. If I didn't notice anything missing from my wallet, I increased the amount until I kept coming up a few dollars short, then lowered it by $20. Now I was automatically saving as much as I could afford. Every time I got a raise, I saved a little more. If I ever had money issues, I would recall I had a pot of cash put aside and check there. Getting the cash might cost me a few days, but I could leave it somewhere where it was growing money. Story 39. Simply not buying the textbook that is required for a university course. I'm only speaking for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics majors, though can't comment for other majors. Every year I see university students lamenting the excessive cost of textbooks but never questioning if the book is truly needed. And for over 80% of my engineering courses, the answer was no. Mathematics and science concepts are the same whether you learn them from a textbook or from lecture notes and past exams posted on Massachusetts Institute of Technology OpenCourseWare and similar websites. Most of my classmates who blindly bought the required textbook barely even read it outside of the practice problems and solution manual. If you're one of those eager learners who genuinely want to learn the lowest level details beyond what's required to excel in your final exam, you can still learn that from YouTube, scientific research publications, or just accessing the book through other means, and if the required book isn't available, just find a different book that covers the same topics. I saved thousands of dollars by outright ignoring the textbook requirement, where possible, and it had zero impact on my academic performance.